everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Asexuals Anonymous, the podcast where we talk all about asexuality. Thank you so much to those who have gotten in touch. We have loved reading your messages. If you'd like to get in touch, please do. Honestly, it's the best thing, getting new messages and feeling connected to you all. So the email is asexualsanon@hotmail.com. My TikTok handle is Amie Butler 66, AMIEBUTLER 66, and my Instagram is Amie Butler 96. Our podcast Instagram dedicated to the podcast is Asexuals Anonymous Podcast. So go give that a follow. Again, I need to hold myself accountable for the content on there because it is lacking at the moment. So I can only apologise, but I will get on it soon, I promise. So if you have a message, you've got so many options to send your message to, whichever one you feel most comfortable. I promise you they'll be received and looked at and appreciated. Also, don't forget we are on YouTube. And like, download, rate, subscribe, all that fun stuff. That is also massively appreciated. And thank you so much to those who already do all that stuff. Let's get on with this week's episode. Hello, anonymous friend. I didn't know whether I should say something else after that hello.
Yeah, that's what I didn't know, whether you were going to say hello and then say something and then
I had
me
like
be
a
like,
real brain fart moment then, right after one word.
we're doing well today.
We're doing well. I literally just said to you, this is unedited again. From now on, all episodes are unedited because I cannot tell you how much easier that made my life.
It's also, I find it way more entertaining.
It is, to be fair, and it kind of puts us on the spot a bit as well.
Yeah, because we are a bit chaos crazy. So
Yeah, especially I feel like I am so knackered that I don't know what is coming out my brain, out my mouth today.
out your brain and out your mouth.
Out of my brain and into my mouth and out my mouth. Oh, living it. I don't
To the
know.
world.
It
Yeah,
could
but
be
do you
an
know what we
overkill.
need to talk about?
Oh yeah. Oh yep.
It's coming on. It's coming on. It's coming. Football's coming on.
Woo!
Yeah. Up the
Champions
girls.
for the second time in a
Winning so
row.
nice, we had to do it twice.
Oh god, we're so proud. I got a little bit emotional, I'm not gonna lie. Oh my goodness, those penalties. My friends were like, "Did you film yourself? Surely you filmed yourself with the penalties and the final." I was like, "Do you know what? I didn't. I just needed to be in the moment."
I filmed myself on that last penalty and it is unwatchable because of the decibel of screams. It's just not, it's not for the ears. Nobody
Also,
needs to see it.
I watched it in like a big par par bar pub place, and I knew that other people were getting the content, so I just grabbed theirs afterwards, and I'm really glad that I was like present for that time, and other people kind of took the videos. That was nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, how great is that?
Winner. I love it. I'm here for it.
Yeah,
I'm happy.
and you went to the trophy lift, didn't you?
I did. I went to the little the parade, which again, like, I don't know whether it was because of my view or whatever, but I didn't really take some pictures either. I took like 3 pictures or a little video, and then very much lived in the moment, and I enjoyed it.
I
It was
guess
good.
with something like that, like we don't need to take too many videos and things because it's all online.
All over
Like,
TikTok, Facebook, Instagram,
yeah,
MySpace, Bebo,
Vimeo or whatever it is.
Snapback, Snapchat, Crapback, whatever the kids are using today.
What are the kids using? They're using Snapchat
No.
for everything. Literally, I had to like organize something with some kids or something. That sounds weird, but it was legit. I think it was like I was teaching some kids and they needed like a song or something, and I was like, let's make a group chat and I'll put all the details on the group chat. And they were like, yeah, what's your Snapchat? I was like, what? This is a real thing. We're not
I was
snapping here.
I was
I've got
approached by
documents I need to send you.
yeah, but I was approached by a male which
Oh,
again, I don't know what's happened recently. Just to give the listeners, I keep getting asked out by boys, and
ew,
I don't
boys.
really dress like someone who is for the boys, personally. And I'm flattered, I appreciate it, but like, I'm barely for anyone, let alone the boys. There's lots of lovely boys out there, by the way. I'm not. But this guy was like older than me, so like he was in like late 30s, and he
Is
asked
this
me if I had.
lift guy?
No, this was
Oh,
another one.
oh
And
God.
he asked me if I had Snapchat. I'm like, you are in your late 30s. Don't ask for my Snapchat.
Yeah, weird. Weird vibes. Very, very strange. Do you know what? The only thing I use Snapchat for in my memories of
Yes.
my wild, crazy life when I was at uni. Crazy times.
Yeah, that's what I use it for, just to see what I was doing like 7 years ago or
I love it.
10 years ago or whatever. I'm
Love
like,
it.
oh, look, when you were
Anyways,
young.
the gals are our champions. How have you been anyway? I've not really asked. We've not been there yet.
We haven't done our little deep dive. No, I'm all right. I'm living the dream. Had a little gals weekend in France.
Paris.
Yeah, a little Paris, and had an absolute blast. So I've been spending a few days catching up on sleep because sleep is not something that really happened over the weekend.
Fair.
And then I'm getting ready to go on my next jollies, so won't be podding with you. 'Cause I'm be a
Well, we're
global
gonna do
global travel.
a cluster pod.
We're gonna do a cluster pod, yeah, just so we're not abandoning you guys completely. But I am all right.
You're just abandoning me in real life.
Yeah, sorry. I'll get you a really nice gift.
Will you?
Yeah,
Don't get my hopes up.
no, I'll get
I
you something
love
nice.
I love holiday gifts.
I will get you something good.
My mum went on holiday and she was like, I've got you a gift. I was like, no. Because we used to do it all the time, but not so much now we're older. And I was dead excited and she gave me this like wooden Arsenal key ring. I was like, oh, this is cute.
I feel like
Thanks.
with you though, you're very low maintenance, like in a good way. I mean, in a
I am.
good way. Like I could get you like a paperclip, and you'd be like, "Oh, thank you, I appreciate it so much." Like you're a very grateful
Be
person.
quite a
So
fun paperclip.
yeah, I'll find you some. Should I get you a grain of rice with your name on it? They do that.
No.
No, you don't want a grain of rice. How ungrateful! I just said you're grateful and you're low maintenance, but you don't want
Yeah,
a grain
you're
of rice with your name on it.
that's so weird. That's
I'm gonna speak it
ridiculous.
out now. I am getting you that rice.
A grain of rice. Do you know how big a grain of rice is?
I'm aware.
How do, they're lying. They're lying to get your money. I can say, right, I've just copied the Mona Lisa on this grain of rice. Give me $500 for it. And like some moron's gonna believe me because it's so small you can't
So
bloody see it.
I've just said that you're a grateful person, you're low maintenance, and I'm going to buy you a gift, and you respond by calling me a moron.
If you get me a grain of rice, you are. If you pay for a grain of rice, you are a moron. And I'm saying it to your face. I'd rather you save
Wow.
your money. No. I am no, honestly, I am. I'm very grateful for normally.
Normal
God,
gift.
it's gonna be an interesting episode. I can't speak.
Yeah, we've also been recording for 10 minutes, and we haven't actually
Oh, flip.
said anything
Right, let's
about
get
being
on it.
asexual.
God, no, no, no. Right, we need to stop. Let's get on this. So,
But are you okay
oh,
also? Just very quickly? You all right?
I'm just really tired. I've had a really fun, exciting few days, and it's just taken a lot out of me. But on Sunday, when I did watch the football, someone came up to me, and it was really unexpected, and was like, "Hey, do you do TikTok content?" And I was like, yes." Although I literally said as well, I haven't done content in so long, so I can't really say I do TikTok content because I haven't done it. But yes, I essentially do. And she was like, "Oh, I thought I recognised you." Basically, she was just like, "Thank you so much for everything you do. Like, it's really, really needed. It's so necessary and super helpful." And I was just like, "Oh my god, I need to get back on it because you're so right. There's not enough things out there for asexuality and talking about it and being that representation. and I feel like I need to do that. So thank you so much to that girl. And it's also really nice just to like in person meet someone random and be like validated for what you do, because like we say on here, like it very much just feels like a conversation between us two, but it's so nice like when we get the emails, because it's like, oh no, we are making a difference or helping people. And like sometimes I do TikToks just because it's for myself, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I forget actually how important they are. Do you know what I mean?
No, yeah, well, obviously it's a big thing for me as well because that's how I messaged you. Is I
Yeah.
searched on TikTok and your TikTok was came up, and then that's when I kind of clocked, like, I had a little scroll and a little stalk, and obviously realized that you weren't American, which a lot of the other things that I'd seen were from like Americans, and then also saw that you were an Arsenal fan, so I was like, oh, you're not far from me. So I was like, it's an actual person that I can. I didn't expect our friendship to grow to the level that it has, and to do all of this stuff. But I just thought, even if I just message you and just see what I can achieve out of this, even if it's just a little message to be like,
Me
I'm the
too.
same, I'm the same, yeah. And then obviously it's grown massively grown from that. But me and you didn't start to. We spoke a little bit, and then we met up straight away,
Yeah.
relatively quickly, and then from there it just took off. But without your TikToks, it wouldn't have. I wouldn't have had that. We wouldn't have had that connection.
It's just everyone knows I find the whole butterfly effect, not even that that is the butterfly effect, but I find the theories and like the way life works really crazy. And that's one of the crazy things in life that I find mad, because I don't know, there's so many things that have come from me posting a few TikToks. Like so many things have happened in a very
Yeah,
positive way. Do you know what I mean? And it's
I
just
even just think of like personally the impact it's had on me. Because like before I met you, I didn't really. I sort of knew, I'm definitely not straight. Like that was kind of where I was at. But also, me and you have been to Pride for the last few years together. Like, I don't know if I would have had someone to necessarily go with who knew what I was going through. So it's like that's impacted in a way. Obviously, I've met people through going to Pride with you who
yeah.
like just friends and just people to talk to, and just like it's just all of that is just literally by me watching you dance
I
on TikTok
just I just love the
with
way life works
with
sometimes.
ace captions. Like, yeah.
Anyway, don't, because I get mind boggled by it, and the fact I'm like very tired is not helping.
Well,
It's
shall
not
we?
helping the gratitude.
Have you
Anyway,
got a little email for me?
I really have got a lovely email for you, which I'm going to read out right now. Right, let me just sort my little screens out so I can still see you. So this is from someone who is calling themselves Confused in Canada, which I
Oh,
love.
we have reached the Canadians.
The Canadians have come.
Transatlantic.
I really want to
Transatlantic,
go.
baby.
I really want to go to Canada actually.
It's on my list for next year, so feel free to come with me. My friend lives there. Free accommodation.
Maybe we should sort that out. Anyway, hi Amy and team. You can call me Confused in Canada. I've been binging your podcast and cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. I just finished episode 19 with Maya. Maya. Oh, I can't remember how you say Maya. Maya. I think it's Maya. I'm terrible with names and also remembering stuff. Anyway, I have been reluctantly exploring the world of asexuality, and your podcast has really helped me. I'm 36, female, and currently consider myself grey sexual queer. I thought I'd share my unique perspective as someone who has felt different than her peers, but didn't know I was on the A spectrum until this year, mostly because I have felt what I consider to be sexual attraction to a man and a woman, but less than a handful of times. It's infrequent, fleeting, and I haven't had many opportunities to truly explore this in a relationship, as the people I've felt this way towards have not been interested in pursuing that with me. I'm also a romantic person and have been involved in the kink community. I've always considered myself to be a sexual person. I have a decent libido and I experience fantasy and enjoy sexy videos and self-pleasure, but have felt a wall up when it comes to me engaging in certain sexual acts myself. Trying to reconcile these aspects of myself leaves almost a painful ache. I'd be happy to chat on your podcast in hopes to discuss the nuances of this because maybe someone else relates. I'm new to figuring this out and struggling to put these parts of me together. All the best, Confused in Canada. I'd love to get her on the podcast. Is it her? They, them? I don't know. I'd love to get them on the podcast. Can I
Sorry.
quickly call upon you?
Weird.
Actually, no, don't worry. What are your thoughts? God, my phone is going crazy. I hope you can't hear that. Thoughts on that email?
I thought that it was an interesting email, and what was quite nice. I don't know if nice is the right word to use. Interesting is probably more appropriate. But what was quite good about it was it actually comes from the perspective of someone who's ace, who does feel like sexual desire, and it's not just
Is
like
sexually active.
not gonna have sex, not gonna. So it gives a different perspective because obviously, like my personal experience, I massively fluctuate between never again am I going to be seeing anyone else's genitals other than my own to, well, actually, you know what? I'll yeah, go on. Let's have a little let's do the horizontal tango. Like it changes all it changes all the
Oh,
time.
that's the. Let me quickly write that down for the title of the show. I dabble in the horizontal tango.
Yeah. Um but obviously the whole point of being ace is it's not that you don't feel sexual attraction, it's just not all the time, and it might be infrequent, might be not at all, it might be, it's various different things. And then what the other thing is that they mentioned they have a decent libido, which obviously again from like what we've spoken about, if you kind of say to someone, oh, like I'm not interested in having sex, then they think that there's some kind of medical hormonal problem
Libido problem.
with your libido, um, which is very interesting because I didn't really know that much about libido until I was figuring out like being ace and whatnot, because I am on a few different various medications, and side effects of those medications do impact libido.
Yeah.
Because then obviously even like when I first figured it out or thought maybe, maybe I'm ace, I'm on these medications and I'm like, I can't be ace, it must just be a side effect of my
Yeah.
medication. And
And
then
lots
when
of
I've come
people
off the
also.
medications and when I've changed medications and things like that and I feel exactly the same, I'm like, ah, no, 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 it's not a side effect of the medication, it's just that's how you feel.
Yeah, and it's really common for people to like comment on my videos being like, no, I was asexual and then I came off my tablets and I became unasexual or whatever. And I'm like that kind of means you weren't asexual in the first place. But again, who am I to gatekeep? But
Or you could have had a low libido as a person because you're asexual. Then you take the tablets and it makes it even lower. So when you
yeah,
stop taking the tablets and your libido goes up, it still might be really low, but it's high
yeah,
for you.
yeah, it could be anything. But yeah, a lot of people do associate libido to impact their sexuality.
Well, if you
Whereas,
Google it, because I had a
not
little
necessarily.
Google of
Have you
what
got
is
the
libido,
definition? Have you got the definition of libido?
it says libido refers to a person's sexual drive or desire for sexual activities. It is a natural biological urge that can vary greatly from person to person and fluctuate over time due to various factors. While often associated with sexual activity, it also encompasses the broader concept of sexual energy and the desire for intimacy. And then it says it's a spectrum, and what some people consider having a high libido might not be high for other people. Libido can change due to factors like age, hormones, stress, relationship dynamics, and overall health. A high or low libido isn't necessarily a problem unless it negatively impacts a person's life, relationships, or well-being. Libido can influence other aspects of life, such as emotional well-being, self-esteem, and the quality of relationships.
Interesting.
It also says that between some studies suggest that women in their 30s and early 40s will experience a peak in sexual desire.
Ooh, that's exciting. I wonder if I'll experience that.
Well, I'm gonna just reveal to the listeners that for me that's true. You know that's true because you know the whole situations. But think about it.
Yeah. Oh, how exciting. It's like a whole new life. It's like
A
turning
whole
a
new
teenager again.
world.
A whole new
Yeah, I
world.
wouldn't exactly say like I'm like raring and ready to go,
Yeah.
but my kind of
Yeah,
like
watch watch me turn this like 30 or whatever and nothing happened. I'll be so disappointed.
yeah, but it didn't happen to me when I was 30. I am a bit older than that, so it
Not
might
that
just
much
take a
older.
little bit longer.
Also, I was thinking, my example earlier was so bad about tablets and stuff. Maybe I should have said, for example, people say to me, "Oh yeah, I turned asexual when I went through the menopause." I'm like, "No, babe, wrong.
Mm.
No."
No,
Um,
because this
your
yeah.
libido probably just went. They're like, "Yeah, we don't want. I don't want sex when
Well,
I
this says
have kids,
hormonal
maybe." And it's like, no.
fluctuations, particularly during the menstrual cycle and during major life events like pregnancy and menopause, can massively affect libido.
Yeah, I say to people all the time, um, asexuality is about sexual attraction, and that's completely different to sexual desire, which is libido. And like we
Yeah.
say all the time, asexual people can have a high libido, which means they have sexual desire for the act all the time, but then they might not feel sexual attraction. Do you know what I
It's
mean?
very complicated.
It is complicated, and I do feel for those who are like completely out of the loop, who are just like they're allies, but they're also just
But
like they're
then
accepting, but they just don't understand, which I get it. Like,
this next bit on my little Google journey,
oh right,
I think it's problematic.
oh go on.
So, obviously, it says here, like, it's important to understand that everyone experiences libido differently. But then there's a section titled When to Be Concerned. And it's like, okay, some people may be concerned, especially if, nothing in their life massively changes. They're not taking medication and they go from one day having a really high libido to just nothing. Different people, but distress or unhappiness. If a low libido is causing distress or unhappiness, it's important to seek professional advice. Okay, but what if it's not low libido? What if you're asexual and you go to a doctor and they tell you that you've got low libido and to do this?
Well, these are the issues, isn't it? Are you
And then it
finished with those?
says if low libido is negatively impacting a relationship, it's a good idea to discuss with a healthcare provider or relationship counsellor. Okay. If low libido is accompanied by other symptoms like fatigue, pain during sex, or changes in mood, it's important to consult a doctor. And I'm a bit like, okay,
They
some
should,
of these I understand,
I think
but
they
why
should
do we
at
have?
the start of that. They should be like they should make it clear if they mean if there's been drastic change in your libido. But
But then
actually,
it says,
it doesn't state that, so I get that's why people get confused and they're like they'll go to the doctors when they're just asexual.
yeah, but then this is what this says here. Doctors and other healthcare professionals can help identify potential causes of low libido and recommend appropriate treatment options, including hormone therapy, therapy, or lifestyle changes. Sex therapists and relationship counselors can help address relationship issues, communicating problems, and psychological factors contributing to low libido. Regular exercise, stress management techniques, and a healthy diet can positively impact libido.
Not
Okay, like
wrong.
all of that is great, but what if I go to the doctor and I say, I've got a low libido and it's causing me unhappiness, and they go, here's some hormone therapy.
Yeah. But this is right, this is a good subject to talk about. We're not going to crack on to it right now because I feel like I need to do some research, but we should research the
Maybe we can
oh
do this
no,
in
what's the
two
word?
parts.
Ooh, what?
Maybe we can do this episode in two parts.
Maybe, but I mean this can be a topic for a whole new episode. Yeah, we need to talk about asexual discrimination and how things like doctors and therapists will mismedicate people thinking that they need in order to get a higher libido they need to be medicated when actually there just needs to be more information and education around asexuality because maybe say I went to therapy and I was like I've got a really low libido, they could even be like, oh, have you ever heard of asexuality or something like that, and be like, there's this option of asexuality or there's this option where we can medicate. Do you know what I mean? Whereas like doctors and therapists will probably go straight to the medication without even like considering another thing which they could then talk about and explore. Do you know what I mean? So there's like that
100%.
side of like discrimination in the world, which I think is like what asexuality activists are fighting for, is like for education about it basically, because yeah, doctors and things don't really know. And like, oh, I don't know if I said on the podcast, but I did ask one of the people from Virgin Island, I asked them if asexuality was ever discussed or brought up before, like in the audition process, during the whole process, or even after the process. And she said it was never, ever brought up or discussed. And I was like, that's ridiculous. And I wonder if any
Interesting.
of them didn't know that existed. And if they did know it existed, would that apply to them and would that help them? Do you know what I mean? There's just so much. Yeah.
Yeah, I also think as well, sometimes I don't necessarily know if this is whose fault this would be, but I think a lot of people go to the doctors and go to professionals with the idea that they're going to come away with some kind of diagnosis or some kind of this is what's wrong. So I feel like for many factors like misinformation and things like that, but also if you go to the doctors and you say, I've got a low libido, they have to give you a response that's like medical,
It's
because
almost like you're
some
going to.
people wouldn't accept that as like an answer.
Yeah.
Some people wouldn't accept that they're not the sexuality that they think.
Yeah. Because you go to the doctors for an explanation and a fix.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like an explanation of, say, I went to the doctors about my headaches. I need an explanation for why I'm getting headaches and how do I fix that.
Yeah.
So they need an explanation for why do I not want sex and how do I fix that.
Yeah, and
And then for
also
someone to be
it
like,
has to be for problems as well. You don't go to the doctor and go,
yeah,
I've got great eyesight, tell me about it.
you wouldn't
Like,
get someone these days going to the doctor being like, I think I'm gay.
yeah,
Yeah, 100%. But then, but then like if the doctors then were to have that as an option, they could be like, right, well, let's explore some options. Like, there's this. Do you know what I mean? Like, 'cause genuinely, I went to the doctors. I went to the doctors about it all, and not once was asexuality brought up into it. And
yeah.
it's just nuts. It's just crazy. So yeah, I don't really know what to do about that problem. Really, I don't think there's much. I don't know. I don't know. I wonder if we can be a part of the change, but I don't really know how to be.
Yeah. We'll try, just me and you and our little gang.
We'll try. The thing is, the people who are going to listen to this podcast are people who already know about asexuality.
Not necessarily. It might be people who know about it, but they're not sure if they identify or if they
No, I
like
know, but like the people
they
who
know what
we
it
need to
is.
talk about making this, maybe we need, say we want to change the way doctors approach this subject. The only way we're going to do that is by approaching those people who can change it. But at the moment, I don't think they realize that it's a problem. But
Right.
until they realize it, there's a problem, they can't change anything, or they won't change anything, or they won't feel the need to change anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I agree.
So we need to go
I
to those
agree.
people who are clueless, basically, and educate them. I guess that's the answer. Go to those people who can make change and educate them on the changes they need to make. God, what is wrong with my brain tonight? It's very deep
I
sometimes,
feel
isn't it?
like we went on like a massive tangent just on
Not even.
libido, based off of the
Yeah.
email of the confused Canadian.
This confused Canadian has made me a confused c- c- something.
Careful.
Yeah. I was careful. Um, I don't know if there was too much of a question in there that we need to try and answer. Um,
I think there's a lot of good things, like, obviously, there's always good things with the emails, but I think in that email, it's something a bit different. It's someone who does
yeah.
experience the desire for sex, just not necessarily the sexual attraction. And those people that they have felt sexual attraction to don't necessarily reciprocate it.
Yeah.
And I think that that's hard. Like, I think that's what I don't really like about the whole dating app things is it feels very detached. And I think for me, if I do want to like do any kind of sexual activity with someone, even like just like kissing someone, I prefer, because it's like an intimate thing. It needs to be. I need to feel comfortable with that person. Doesn't
Yeah, of
necessarily mean
course.
that I need to know them for like 2 years or whatever before I decide that I'm going to give them a little smooch. But you have to have that like I feel comfortable with you, and I
Yeah.
think it's hard when you're ace and everything is
Yeah.
quite detached. And I think one of the things for me and you kind of as well, the way that you identify is we want that attachment and that emotional connection in order for it to have the sexual attraction.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's actually really nice to hear from someone like we were saying earlier with who is sexually active and kind of like to hear their point of view and their two pennies worth. Like, if anyone else, well, anyone, whether you are sexually active or not, like however you identify or feel, I just want to hear how people feel, basically. I would love to hear more. Please email in and just explain how you feel, and I'd love to read it out because however you feel, I guarantee you're not the only one that feels that way.
Not
And
at
like
all.
obviously we can only talk about how we feel and that will go out to a certain amount of people. But I bet you there's loads of people who listen to this who feel like maybe similar but also have other feelings that we're not putting out there that other people will, for example. So I think this confused Canadian has brought up a lovely, has connected probably with an a, some audience that we necessarily wouldn't have.
Yeah, I agree.
Does that make sense?
That was a good way. I know it does make perfect sense. That is good. Yeah.
And if I just want to encourage other people to share their stories because
Even if it's not the
yeah,
same as like how me and you have figured it out or how me and you feel or what me and you were saying.
yeah,
I think the thing that's good with me and you is there's a lot of similarities in
yeah,
our situations and how we feel about certain things, and a lot of our stuff lines up. But there is differences as well, but there is a lot of
yeah,
similarities. And so it would be nice to, and it is nice to hear people who identify the same way but don't necessarily show it or
or
feel it
feel
in
it.
the same way. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, this confused Canadian is 36. Oh, she said female. 36. And, like, to some people, I don't know, we've had a mix of ages, haven't we? We've had
Yeah,
a range of
definitely.
ages, and it's just lovely to hear from that range of ages. So, yeah. Thank you so much for emailing in. I'm happy to wrap it up there. Have you got anything else you want to say?
No.
No. All right
I
then.
think
Well,
you need to
thanks.
go to bed.
I
Is
really need to go to bed. I need a shower and I need to go to bed. I feel like I'm functioning on like air.
fume. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. Get in touch if you would like to. Um, yeah, all the email and the contact things were at the beginning, or they're in the show notes. Let us know if you want to come on the podcast as well. I need to go through and contact some people. Hopefully, we'll get some guests on very, very soon. Like, rate, subscribe, all that stuff. Check us out on YouTube, although this is the end of the podcast. So hopefully I said it in the beginning because you're not going to want to re listen and watch the podcast. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, shh.
Stop talking now.
Shush. Right. Back in your ears next week. Bye.